So you said something. You've been doing the journal thing for 3 weeks.
Mhm.
How would you and we're not experts, or at least I'm not. How would you
Neither am I.
go about keeping a routine?
Mm.
Because I can do all that stuff today. Maybe not tomorrow, though. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And it's hard, and I've read so many different strategies and so many different ways to like constantly keep the momentum and keep progress and da 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 da. And I know it's wrong, but in your head sometimes you're like, I'll skip today. What's the worst that can happen?" And then you skip the next day and the next day and the next day, but not the other day. But then a week you skip, and then another time, and then 2 weeks, and it's like you incrementally improve in the opposite direction, where you're getting lazier and lazier until you're just like, well, I don't even do it that much anymore, so what's the point?
Okay, so to answer your question, I think 21 days is the Goldilocks number. If you're doing something consistently for 21 days, that is probably how long it has taken you to create that habit. Um, that's one way of recognizing. Start off small, also.
Yeah.
You can't just do something cold turkey and expect yourself to be rocking that straight for 6 months
It's
with no
hard.
end, right? For me, it was okay. I'm building up to run these marathons or these Ironmans.
You're not running an Ironman to train for the Ironman.
Exactly. I'm literally gonna just start with something as small as fixing my diet again. So
Hmm.
for me, that looks like stopping the consumption of bread, refined carbs, junk food. I was eating, actually, surprisingly enough, I was eating a shit ton of junk food this past semester.
But you were cooking it, I assume.
Yeah, I was cooking a lot, but I wasn't cooking smart. I'm cooking smarter now, even though I'm living at home. But my parents are okay with having me cook because it takes less, it's less work on their plate.
Yeah.
So being able to look at my diet and say, oh, you know what? I can cut all this out, and I have, and it's good. So just start with like one or two things that you think you can change, make those habits stick, then move on to the next. Don't do everything all at once. I'm the type of guy that I can do it cold turkey, but like I said, if I don't create a habit, it's gone. You know?
It's honestly insane. Because when I quit soda last year, it's so weird because, like, you just instinctually want to, like, grab it.
Right?
You're not even thinking about it. And the same thing with my phone, although I still haven't curbed that habit yet. But,
Mm-hmm.
like, for anyone who's listening, have you ever just woken up and just immediately grab your phone? Like that's the first thing you do. You don't do anything else, but you check your phone, check your messages, check your well, I don't use social media, but check your YouTube. Oh, that's a cool video that released yesterday. I'll watch that in the morning. It's like that's the first thing you do. And you're not even like thinking, "Oh, yeah, I'll do this." No, you're just doing it. And the same thing with soda. It's like I would just drink the soda because it tastes good, and there's nothing else to drink, even though there was like water. I'm like, I don't drink water. The water's for idiots. So, but now that's exclusively all I drink is water.
So you only drink water now,
Water and seltzer.
dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it last week, but I had no idea that you're on the water grind too. Because I don't drink anything but water.
No, water's good for you, I read. It's also 70% of your body, so
Weird how it works.
presume we need it.
Yeah. Some
Um,
science textbooks recommend.
a little bit, yeah. I feel better, I'd say, is safe to say. Because
Health
before,
wise.
yeah, yeah, at least from that water part.
Hmm.
Um, and my weight speaks for itself. I lost like 20 pounds, so
Dude,
that helps.
that's awesome.
Boosting it's like, it's working.
There you go. That's one form of self love right there. That you created this habit because you realized that you had a self destructive habit. That was drinking soda.
No, but like the thing is, you're right. That first 3 weeks or however long it took me is like, you really have to like consciously be like, no,
They're so brutal.
I'm not gonna do this. I'm going to drink something else, anything else. And I did. Okay, I technically this is like half true. So I love sweets,
Mm.
and there's a certain snack I love to eat. It's like certain brand of chocolate chip cookies that I love to eat.
Is it Chips Ahoy?
No, it's not Chips Ahoy. Um, this podcast sponsored by Chips Ahoy. Um, but whatever, I have this chocolate chip cookies, and I used to eat like a box a week for,
Wow.
but for the last 3 months or 2 months, I haven't eaten those. But like I said, I half cheated on this because instead of those, I eat like wafer cookies
Mm-hmm.
with chocolate flavor or vanilla or whatever. And it's not as much, I'm not
Yeah.
eating a box, I'm eating like one or two cookies a day or every other day,
Mm-hmm.
which is better, I like to think. But once again, same thing. It's like before I'm reaching for that box and I'm like, I'm gonna eat these cookies. And I had to be like, no, you can do this. You can eat something else, eat anything else. So I was like eating like crackers or one tip I learned that helps me is like if you're hungry and you're like gonna go eat some bad food, or what would you call it? This
Junk
kind
food. Junk food.
junk
Are you
food.
serious?
No. There's another word for it. It starts with a C. Comfort food. Comfort
Yeah.
food. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
you
you're
could say.
going to eat that, one tip I learned or not tip. One thing I learned is just drink like water drink like 3 bottles of water or 4 bottles of water, so that way you don't feel like eating it anymore. Even if you have like the craving, your stomach is full and your mind will tell you, no, you're
So
not.
are you classically conditioning yourself to not want or to just want water whenever you have a craving
No,
for junk food?
no, Pete. That's not the
was
case.
aggressive,
I'm just saying, something's got to give. I could just do nothing, and I have done nothing in the past. Not used to, like 3 years ago, I used to just not eat anything, just be like,
Mhm.
I'm done,
Mhm.
and I did it. I did it. I want the world to know that I had the mental capacity to avoid eating junk food of all kinds, both fried food, sweets, all of that stuff, and soda. It didn't last long, but mainly because I was like starving myself, which is not healthy at all. Like
It's horrible.
it's really not good. Don't starve yourself. But let it be on the record that I had the willpower to do so. I want the world to know this. So yeah, don't starve yourself. But everything is good in moderation, I think. And that's the thing, like you lower your moderation.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
So like yeah, it's true I eat a box of cookies every day, but then I start eating like a smaller box or like 3 cookies
Yeah.
a day. Instead of drinking soda, I would drink seltzer to imitate the texture. And slowly I was like, I didn't crave soda anymore, and I just started drinking water.
Yeah.
And now I drink a lot of the times water.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the same. This is a different side of the same coin. If you're gonna try to make some great habits in your life, start with one or two, and hammer those out. If you're gonna try to kick some habits, same thing. Start slowly and don't do it cold turkey. It's hard. It's really hard to do it like that. Just slowly mature yourself away from that thing. Whether it is for you eating cookies, for me it was just junk food in general. So I was just really slowly but surely ironing out and getting away from all that stuff. And if I found myself in a place now that I can actually sustain it, and there's just a larger goal for me as well. You want to be able to visualize. If you're doing it for a reason, make sure that that reason is tangible, or not tangible, but actionable, something that you believe in and you can actually work towards it. So, like I said, I'm working towards those races. I'm going to be continuing doing this for a while. And then after those races are done, I'll see what the next challenge is going to be, right? It's hard to do something without a purpose because then you're just aimlessly doing it. There's this idea of finite and infinite games. And when you're doing stuff to better yourself, yeah, that's great, but it's hard. And a lot of people can't do that. You
So then
you
aim
have to
for
be a
something
different breed.
smaller.
Exactly. Aim for something is I think the key word there. You strive to do this for a reason almost. I mean, in general, if you try to do something very impulsively or just abruptly, it makes no sense how you can sustain it, right? It's very hard.
It's so frustrating.
You wouldn't feed a person that starved themselves for 2 weeks immediately with a lot of food. Yeah, they're starving, But what happens if you give them
They throw
a
it up.
table? No, dude, they die.
Oh, that too.
I was listening to the Lex Friedman Charles Hoskinson episode, and Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, he was talking about he went on like a 2-week fast one time. His brother's a physician, so
Amateur.
Alex is like, I did that in my sleep. But anyways, he went on a 2-week fast one day because he was like, let me push my limits to see, because he does fasting in general, and he, hits up his brother who's a physician and is like, hey, I haven't eaten in 2 weeks. How do I start eating again? I thought it was funny, but yeah, dude, you can't feed yourself right away off the spot. You're gonna die. I mean, we talked about it also. People that worked in internment camps, either in World War II or, just prisoners of war, they were starved. A lot of people, as soon as they got back to normal life, they died because they weren't being fed, and just getting back to the same lifestyle it's a world-shattering experience.